Let me be brutally honest. Most of you don't have what it takes. You're not going to make it to the end of this video. In fact, 85 of you will drop off long before I finish talking. Why? Because you're weak. Your attention span is so pitifully short that even this challenge, the simple act of watching one video, is beyond your grasp. You've been trained like a dog, conditioned by endless notifications, dopamine hits, and mindless scrolling. Every app you open, every meaningless video you swipe past, is just another link in the chain tying you to mediocrity. You're not in control. You think you are, but you're not. You're a puppet, and big tech is pulling the strings. Here's the harsh truth. You've been rewired to crave distraction, that little itch to check your phone. That's not curiosity. That's control. Every time you give in to it, you're reinforcing the chains. And the scariest part, most of you don't even care. I see it all the time. People are losing the ability to focus. They can't read a book, finish a movie, or have a meaningful conversation without zoning out. And here's the kicker. It's not an accident. This is by design. The platforms you're glued to. They're not here to entertain you. They're here to enslave you. Think about it. Why do you think every app is free? Because you are the product. Your attention, your habits, your data. It's all being sold to the highest bidder. You're being used, and you're letting it happen. I'll admit I've felt it too. That creeping inability to focus. That restless urge to scroll. That nagging feeling that I'm wasting my life on nonsense. But unlike most of you, I'm fighting back. I refuse to be a slave to this system. The question is, do you, or are you just another cog in the machine, content to live out your days chasing likes, views, and fleeting moments of validation? Here's the reality. If you can't sit still and consume something that challenges your mind, you're already lost. The world isn't going to wait for you to get your act together. It's moving forward, and the people who can focus, who can think deeply, and who can resist the siren call of distraction, they're the ones who will thrive. So what's it gonna be? Are you gonna let your mind rot, feeding it the junk food of endless, meaningless content? Or are you gonna take control and start fighting back? If you've made it this far, congratulations. You're part of the 15. But don't pat yourself on the back just yet. The battle isn't over. It's a daily fight against a system designed to break you. And if you're not willing to put in the work, you'll end up like the rest, distracted, disconnected, and defeated. Let's talk about this daily fight. It's not glamorous. It's not easy. And it's certainly not quick. This is a war that's fought in the quiet, unremarkable moments of your life. When you're tempted to grab your phone the second you're bored, that's the battlefield. When you're scrolling mindlessly at 2 a.m., that's the enemy winning. When you can't sit through a 5-minute conversation without your mind wandering, that's the chains tightening around you. The first step to breaking free is awareness. You need to wake up to the fact that you're being manipulated. Every notification you get, you might also like suggestion, every red badge screaming for your attention. It's all designed to hook you, and the more you're hooked, the less free you are. But awareness isn't enough. Knowing you're trapped won't set you free. You need to take action. Start small. Turn off notifications. Set specific times for checking your phone. Delete apps that suck your time without giving you value. Replace mindless scrolling with something that actually challenges your brain. Read a book. Learn a skill. Have a real conversation. You might feel a pang of anxiety when you start. That's normal. It's withdrawal. You've been feeding on easy dopamine for so long that your brain doesn't know how to function without it. But here's the good news. You can retrain your brain. You can rebuild your focus. It's not going to happen overnight, but it is possible. Discipline is the key. And discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up, every single day, even when it's hard. It's about saying no to what's easy and yes to what's meaningful. It's about prioritizing your future self over your present comfort. Imagine what your life could look like if you broke free. Imagine the projects you could finish, the skills you could master, the relationships you could deepen. Imagine waking up each day with a clear purpose, not just a vague sense of dread and distraction. That's what's at stake here. That's what you're fighting for. But let's be real. Not everyone will make it. Most people will hear this and do nothing. They'll nod along, maybe even feel inspired for a moment, and then go right back to their old habits. Don't be one of them. Don't be one of them. Don't let this message be just another piece of content you consume and forget. Let it be the spark that lights a fire in you. The world is changing. The future belongs to those who can adapt, who can think critically, and who can resist the pull of mindless distraction. The people who can focus will be the ones who build the future. The rest will be left behind, drowning in a sea of irrelevance. You have a choice to make, right here, right now. Are you going to keep living on autopilot, letting others control your mind and your life? Or are you going to take back control? Are you going to be the master of your own destiny? Or are you going to let yourself be a pawn in someone else's game? If you've made it this far, you're not like the rest. You have the potential to break free, but potential means nothing without action. So, what are you going to do? Are you going to keep scrolling? Keep wasting your life? Keep feeding the system? That's exploiting you. Or are you going to stand up, take a hard look at your habits, and start making changes? The choice is yours. But remember, every moment you spend distracted is a moment you'll never get back. Time is the most precious resource you have. Don't waste it. Don't let it slip through your fingers while you chase meaningless distractions. The fight for your focus is the fight for your future. It's a battle worth fighting, and it's a battle you can win, but it's up to you to decide. Will you rise above the noise, or will you fade into it? The world belongs to those who can focus. The rest, they'll just become part of the background, forgotten and irrelevant. So make your choice, and make it count.